Hi, my name is Jed, and today we will be talking about legal issues and social media. So first off, what is social media? Merriam-Webster defines it as forms of electronic communication through which users create online communities to share information, ideas, personal messages, and other content such as videos. These are just a couple examples of social media, which I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with. It can be used primarily in three ways. First off, personal use, then commercial use, and even as a governmental tool, such as the White House Twitter account, which you guys can follow. It's pretty fun. Before we begin really diving into the legal issues, I want to bring this quote into the forefront. Because social media will grow with time, and the law tends to lag behind technological development, companies and individuals using social media should take care. I got this quote from this article, and you can find the link here and also on my resource page. So the top three issues are privacy and security, defamation and insecurity, and intellectual property infringement. Many social media websites have a terms and conditions form the user agrees to that allows for a degree of privacy and liability for the user. A social media site operator should clearly define a policy on user-generated content abbreviated as UGC and sourcing of the intellectual property generated by users in accordance to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. This is important because it's to put it in like a practical example, it basically allows for the user and the social media platform operator to come to an agreement on whose is whose. So if I put a picture online, is that my picture or is that Facebook's picture? So that's what the terms and conditions go over about the UGC. In history, actually, a modern development in social media allows many companies to use search criteria to generate advertisements relevant to the user. So a good example of this is once again on Facebook. Sometimes you'll find images of something that you've previously searched into Google, and that's generated because platforms such as Facebook use your search criteria to generate these advertisements. Just some food for thought is how much privacy should a user be allowed, and how much privacy does the user actually have now? So for defamation and security, well, social media makes it easy for defamatory statements to be made about individuals, companies, and even governments. This can lead to cyberbullying. And since social media is rather young and is growing pretty fast, the law is still trying to put laws in place for defamation and ways to just control that. But actually, modern day news, New Zealand has actually made cyberbullying illegal. The legislation effectively prohibits sending messages to people that are racist, sexist, critical of their religion, sexuality, or disability. The bill creates a separate crime of incitement to suicide. And I found this off the article on engage.com, and you can find that article linked on my sources page. And just more food for thought. So what is security in the digital world versus in the tangible world? What's the difference? And finally, intellectual property infringement. Excuse me. Users should have a general understanding of copyright laws. Everyone should be generally educated on that. That's just, good rule of thumb. Some social media platforms have the user agree to terms which make the user liable for infringement, as opposed to the social media platform being liable. And it is good to know which websites do that. It should be noted that simply giving credit for something does not automatically immunize a user from possible infringement claim. The safest thing to do, especially if you are sharing on a commercial social media, is to obtain the original owner's consent. This can be done by contacting the original owner or researching whether or not the owner has allowed that particular item to be used by the general public or it's in public domain. Practical example in history, Alexander Graham Bell, when he invented the telephone or when he applied for a patent, he actually found himself in a patent dispute with Alicia Gray. So Alicia and Alexander both submitted an application for a permit to the telephone on the same day, just a couple hours apart. Due to this, a lengthy patent dispute between Gray and Bell ensued, with Bell obviously receiving the patent. After reading an array of articles, it was easy to draw a conclusion about the general public opinion regarding social media in America. Many interviewees, users, and even company representatives were appreciative of social media, many using it daily. Many independent users' primarily concern was security and privacy. Although this is the case, many people were not actively adding security to their accounts. You can find the articles that I read and drew on to write this paragraph all in my sources page as well. My personal opinion is that social media is just like any other tool. It can be used for either good, even great good, or for bad. Social media is a great tool for people to connect with each other and to share ideas internationally, cross-culturally, and even through linguistic barriers. Much like any tool, social media has also opened up an entirely new world, a world full of elusive terms such as privacy, intellectual property, and security. Suddenly, terms we have taken for granted in our tangible world need to be redefined for this new digital world. The best thing for us to do is to educate our students in basics about social media. Although the law can protect us, we should always be proactive in protecting ourselves. We should teach our students about how to keep certain information private, such as simply not putting it on social media, and how to stay secure or keep their accounts secure. We ourselves also should remain up to date and educated about new ways to safeguard ourselves in the digital world. So I just actually want to show this video now with everything that we've said. This is more of a comic episode, I guess. Obviously, it's Jimmy Kimmel. He interviews Obama, and he actually interviews Obama about social media.
I feel good. Listen, if they legalize marijuana in Washington, D.C., you can be higher than me. How are you? Thank you for coming.
I feel good. Thank you.
You did a great job with mean tweets, by the way.
You know, I have to say, though, those weren't that mean. I mean, what? I've got to tell you, you should see what the Senate says about it all the time. And that was some piker stuff.
Do you ever physically tweet yourself, or does somebody do that for you?
I do not physically tweet in general. There are times where I'm responding to like a particular issue. We're trying to get something out, and I'll get on there so that I'm interacting with young people or something like that on a special event. Generally speaking, I got some other stuff to do.
Do you text?
I don't text. I email. I still have a BlackBerry because I can't.
One guy has
the one old guy there. Look at him. He's my age. Somebody my generation. I can't use phones with recorders in them. So a lot of the newfangled stuff, for security reasons, I don't get.
Do you have Hillary Clinton's new email address?
I can't share it with you. I don't think she'd want you to have it.
She specifically mentioned that she did not want me to have it.
You know what? You're going on Kimmel. If he asks for the email address, no way.
You have young kids, and of course every parent has to talk to their kids about going on social media, but you especially must have to say to your daughters, don't do anything, don't post anything, don't ever do anything.
Don't do that. I mean, look, they all have their smartphones, and they're texting with their friends. They're doing all the stuff that the teenagers are doing.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Michelle and I try to emphasize to them that they don't want to be on TMZ.
Yeah, right. I am Jimmy Kimmel. Are you set?
Anyway, that is just a more comic example, like I said, of social media. It is just interesting to see the president's view on it and how he actually stays proactive, even just using a BlackBerry because it doesn't have a recording device. So here are the sources that I used to create this presentation, which I hope you enjoyed, and I hope that you learned something about social media and how to stay safe and what to tell your students. Thanks for watching.